Hey, fifth grade. I am doing your math lesson a little differently today. I'm just going to hold the camera like this and go in and talk about each different angle and triangle in our lesson because we are learning about angles and triangles the next step in geometry. So you need your math book open to page number 245. Okay, I'm going to write that on here so you can see it. Ready, pause, go. 245. Okay, so the first thing up in the lesson box, the facts about different angles. The first type of angle that you need to know is congruent. Now, if you remember, the word congruent means equal to, okay? So it's the same. So congruent angles, just like congruent shapes, they are angles, okay, that have the same, they're the same, okay? So these have the same number of, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. Angles will be measured in terms of degrees. So these angles, I'm going to say these are about 45-degree angles, okay? Every circle has, we measure it in degrees, and every circle has 360 degrees in it, okay? So if you imagine that you have this circle, okay? Here's the middle, which is going to be your vertex from right here, okay? And the reason angles were measured in degrees is because the whole way around it is 360 degrees, okay? So let's say that this angle goes like this. If this is our starting point, it goes 45 degrees this way, okay? So it's just like a little tiny piece of the pie. So that's why we measure angles in degrees. So congruent angles, if they say this angle is 45 degrees, draw a congruent angle, you are going to measure and draw an angle that is the exact same. Congruent means equal, okay? Congruent, the same. So this is the angle, that your angle is represented by this little circle in between the two rays that are coming out from the vertex. Okay, that's your congruent, that's your angle. Okay, it shows you that it's an angle. And congruent just means equal to. Okay, so that's what we're doing right there. Okay, let's jump down to number 2. A right angle, okay? We talked a little bit about the right angles in the shapes. They're formed by perpendicular lines, okay? Ones that intersect. If this were to keep going there, they would intersect right there, so they're perpendicular lines. It's always going to be represented by this box right here, okay, that's in the corner, whereas this is like a circle or a moon sort of shape. A right angle is going to be represented by this box here. And the important thing about right angles is they will always, always, always be 90 degrees. So you can always know that if there's that box right here, that angle is going to be 90 degrees. That's what a right angle is, okay? So as here where you might have to measure, which you'll learn how to do that later on in life, this one you always know is 90 degrees no matter what, without fail, okay? That's the rule of geometry, okay? 90 degrees for a right angle, always and forever. And it's always going to be represented by the box rather than this little moon shape thing right there, okay? So the box shows it's 90 degrees, it's a right angle, all right? I hope you're not getting dizzy by this. I probably would. Okay. Moving down to number 3, an acute angle, okay? I always remember this. An acute angle, it's cute, okay? It's small. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. An acute angle is small. It will always be less than, okay? It's cute, it's small, less than 90 degrees. Again, it's shown by that little guy right there. Here's your two rays going out right here, okay? Your vertex. An acute angle is smaller than 90 degrees. Imagine if this were a 90-degree angle, okay? See, it's smaller. It's smaller than a 90-degree angle. A 90-degree angle in our circle, I'm going to draw it here, is going to look like that. So if this were our acute angle, it's definitely, oh, there, now you can see it. It's definitely smaller, okay? So an acute angle is always going to be less than 90 degrees. Oppositely, an obtuse angle is always going to be greater than 90 degrees. So if you look, here's my vertex right here, okay, vertex. And then here's my angle showing, and it's going to be greater than 90 degrees. Okay, I remember obtuse because obtuse, kind of obese, obtuse. Okay, obese is huge, it's big, it's too big, it's overweight. Okay, so an obtuse angle is bigger and larger than 90 degrees, where an a little cute angle is less than 90 degrees. Obtuse is greater, acute is less than, okay, 90 degrees. Right angle is right on the dot, 90 degrees. Okay, last angle to learn about is our straight angle. A straight angle is 180 degrees always. Now it looks like a line, But notice there's the vertex in the middle and then your angle sign showing that this is an angle, okay? If it's a straight angle, it's always going to be 180 degrees without fail, okay? Always, always, always. Think here, if you go up to your right angle, let me erase some of these lines, and if this line just kept going, okay, the 90 degrees cuts it in half, and 90 to here and the 90 to there is going to be 90 plus 90 is 180, right? So that's why a straight angle or a straight line is always going to be 180 degrees, all right? Now let's move on to triangles. They're pretty similar, okay? But we do need to talk about them. Now the important thing that you must know about triangles, okay? First of all, tri means three, okay? So it's made up of, triangle is made up of three angles, okay? Three angles. And the thing about triangles is they will always equal 180 degrees. All three angles together. So if these are my angles, this angle, angle A, plus angle B, plus angle C is always going to equal 180 degrees without fail, okay? Always and forever. All three angles inside of a triangle will always equal 180 degrees, okay? So this angle plus this angle plus this angle, okay? If you know this angle, you can then find this one and this one, or vice versa, okay? Always, always, always going to equal 180 degrees. Put that in your memory. You're going to need to know it until after college, okay? Even further than that. Always, always, always going to equal 180 degrees. The triangle shape is made up of three different angles, and the angles inside the shape, inside the closed shape, the closed figure, will always equal 180 degrees. Okay, moving down to a right triangle. Just like our right angle, okay, it's based off of a right angle. A right triangle will always have one right angle in it, okay? So if you remember, a right angle equals 90 degrees. So it's always going to be a perpendicular triangle, okay? Two of the lines are going to be perpendicular, and the other one is going to connect them. Your right triangle will always have 190 degree right angle, okay? That's not super hard to remember, all right? So that's pretty basic. Down here, your isosceles triangle, I unfortunately don't have any great way to remember this other than process of elimination. But what your isosceles triangle will have, it will always have two congruent sides. Two lines from the triangle will always be congruent. And if these two lines are equal, it's going to make the two angles that connect them equal as well. Okay, in a triangle, anytime you have a congruent side or an equal side, you're also going to have equal angles, okay? So if I know that this angle is 30 degrees, okay, then I can figure out, because remember the inside, all three of these have to equal 180 degrees. So if I did 180 minus the one known angle, which is 30, that leaves me with what? 150 degrees. So both of these two angles together have to make up 150 degrees. So all I do is 150 divided by 2, 75. So this one is 75 degrees, and this one is 75 degrees, okay? So that's how you figure it out. An isosceles triangle will always have two congruent sides and angles. Wherever there's a congruent side, wherever there are congruent sides or equal sides on a triangle, there will be congruent equal angles as well, okay? And an equilateral triangle is one where all three sides are the exact same length, okay? The exact same length, making them congruent, okay, all three of them, which means if all three sides are equal, then all three angles are equal, okay? So in an equilateral triangle, you have 180 degrees made up from all three of these angles, this one, and this one. Okay, so 180 divided by 3 is going to be 60. An equilateral triangle, all of your angles will always be 60 degrees each. Okay, so those, I gave you a little bonus information because you guys are more than able to use it. So, there you go. Go ahead and for your homework, I want you, sorry, I'm just going to zoom this out right now while I look at the page so you can kind of look at that. Actually, just do what I say on there. I'm not sure what I want to have you to do. I need to look at it a little bit. So look at the order that I put on there for you. Study these. Make sure you know these definitions. Those are really important. All right? I think this is your only video for today. So I will see you tomorrow.